How can I be so empathetic if everybody says I'm so bad at reading a room? Darling, you're great at reading a room. That's the problem. Really? The other problem is you're reading it in another language, an Autistic language, and you're reading it out loud, and they're not ready to hear it about themselves, nor do they want anybody else to hear it about them. That's why malignant people with bad intentions will often target you before you've said or done anything. They've figured out what kind of person you are and that you're going to blow their cover. Well, what do you mean? Do you remember those mean girls in high school? Those girls. The ones that were actually frenemies? Yeah. You remember how they would go real quiet? The vibes did feel off. You know how you tried to ask them if you'd done anything to offend them or upset them? You know how you got the feeling that they were talking about you behind your back? Yeah. And then they treated you like you were crazy, but then when you found out that they were in fact talking about you behind your back, and then you confronted them, they said what? Oh, they said I was still wrong. Right, that you had brought it on yourself because you're so paranoid, right? What do they have to do with my family, though? You did the same thing with them that you did with your family. You broke an unspoken Autistic social taboo. Oh. You made explicit what they wanted to be implicit. You made conscious what they wanted to be subconscious. Truth-telling is a threat to their hierarchy, to the entire way that they communicate with one another. You notice how your family was talking about all the good things that were happening in their lives? Yeah. Yeah, they were vying for position. You're blowing their cover, not just between them, but you're also exposing them to themselves, and it's causing cognitive dissonance, and you have to be punished for that. You had to be scapegoat. Yeah, it was almost like they lost respect for me or something, and even though they had a lot of problems with each other, all the anger seemed to be directed at me. See, they maintain group cohesion by piling all of their negative emotions that they actually have for one another into you. Either their relationship with you seems like it has lower overall value, or you seem like you'll just take it without any negative consequences. But I don't think that they're punishing me. They seem to really believe what they're saying. See, but most of the time they don't even realize that they're doing it. But how do you know more about what Autistics are supposedly thinking than they do? Well, I know more about Austics in the same way that any oppressed group knows more about their oppressor than the oppressor knows about themselves. Okay, look, if you want to know more about white supremacy, you talk to the people most affected by white supremacy. You don't talk to white people. If you want to know more about toxic masculinity, you don't talk to a cis heterosexual male, you talk to women and femmes. If you want to know more about homophobia, you don't talk to straight people, you talk to queer people. Oh, because you have to understand them to survive. Right. When you tell a truth that Austics are not ready to hear, I hate to say it, but it's like auditioning for role of scapegoat. I'm not auditioning for the role, am I? I know you didn't consciously or subconsciously actually audition for this part. It's just how Austics take it. And you don't deserve that role. So what do I do? Well, I think that your instincts are right in this case. I know you really like to be authentic, but these are not safe people to tell the truth with, at least about your observations of them and your family dynamics. But there's good news. Since now you know these emotions you were feeling aren't yours, you'll have an easier time extricating them from your own. It'll be easier not to borrow their emotions and focus on your own. I see what you're saying. There's nothing wrong with emotional empathy. It's a beautiful thing, but it's also very energy expensive. It's very costly, so save it for people who deserve it, who want it. Yeah. And you could stop gaslighting yourself and start trusting your instincts. Those are going to keep you safe. Okay, I can concede that maybe I'm hyper empathetic or whatever, but I'm not autistic. Okay.